I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into NXT from January the 27th, 2026. This was an okay show. It was basically filler. Clearly, they're setting up everything for next week to be a massive show. This show here was okay. I liked a couple of things on this show. Clearly, even when NXT produces filler shows like this, it's still better than anything on the main roster. And this was the case. I am, however, kind of worried that they haven't even mentioned anything about Vengeance Day, since Valentine's Day is going to be on a Saturday this year. So hopefully they do the PLE, because that has been a successful PLE for them. And they've done it, I think, since maybe 2020 or something like that. I can't remember. But they've been doing Vengeance Days PLEs for quite some time. And I do like that. So hopefully they end up putting a card together. And after Vengeance Day is over with, what's NXT going to do with its PLEs going forward? Because the Peacock deal is over and done with come February. So I don't know. And that's scary. That really is scary. I don't know what they could do. They can't do Netflix. So I have no idea. But they'll figure something out, hopefully. So let's go ahead and get into the show. So we kick the show off with Joe Hendry. He's laid out in the back. So the Vanity Project, they're backstage. They're standing over him with a steel chair, saying that they have no idea what happened. So Ava, she shows up to try to sort things out. She calls some folks to shuffle things around and make sure the show goes on. I cannot stand Ava. Ava is absolute garbage. She is the worst general manager in history. She is absolutely awful at her job. But it is what it is. Like, she's one of the things that I do not like about NXT is Ava. Like, ugh, Ava is so damn bad. Moving on from that, Ricky Saints was out on commentary briefly for the first match, but he left. The first match of the night was Darkstate. They defeated Price and Nemo. Nema. Price and Nema. So, OTM. Who cares? I'm not a fan of OTM. For whatever reason, the fans were chanting for them to win. I don't know why. I have not liked OTM since they're with Jada Parker back in, was that 2022 or 2023? I can't remember which. But this is like their third reiteration of them, and they've not done much of anything. They've not. So clearly Darkstate, they get the win. Then all the tag team division come out and they have a brawl and everything else. And, it is what it is. Who cares? The NXT tag team division is very, very weak. You got Hank and Tank. You've got the Culling, Nico Vance, and that useless sack of shit, Sean Spears. You got Darkstate. You got Chase U. You don't really have any promising tag teams, and OTM. So you don't really have much of anything in the tag team division. I've said for a while that there should just be one set of tag team titles in all of WWE, and you have them float across all three brands, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. That needs to happen. immediately. That needs to happen. Moving on. This leads us into a backstage segment involving Nikita Lyons. So we see footage of last week. She's singing at Blake Monroe in the locker room to align her and offer her moral support, saying she's been through so much and reading her energy, which Mariah May means she's offering help, but Nikita says she just needs sage and grass touching, and she'll offer a gift from the divine feminine of the universe, and she'll face off against Jada Parker. What the hell? So I guess in Evolve, they're giving Nikita Lyons a new age spirituality type of gimmick. Oh my God, what the hell? What the hell? This is so stupid. This is so dumb. Clearly, Shawn Michaels has given up on Nikita Lyons. She's been on Evolve for months, right? She at one point in time was a focal point, or was going to be a focal point of the NXT women's division, and now she's not. She's just on Evolve, and they've given her a new age gimmick. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Could we see after post WrestleMania / NXT Stand and Deliver, could we see Nikita Lyons get that pink slip? Could we? I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of her. I really truly am, but I think that WWE just doesn't know what to do with her, and I would rather her be in like somewhere like a TNA or somewhere like that. You know, she does not need to go to AEW at all. AEW to do what? To what? Be seen on Ring of Honor? Fuck no. So, moving on, this leads us into Jada Parker. She defeated Nikita Lyons. Match was short. Jada wins via the hypnotic, and then she ended up hitting another move. It was like I can't really describe it, but she hit some type of different move, and that's how she won the match. Whatever. I don't know why they wanted to give her a new finisher. I like the hypnotic, I really do. It's a good finish, but you know, it makes sense. So, Mariah May shows up. She appears on the Titantron post-match. She tells Jada Parker that nobody takes her spotlight and gets away with it, and she'll be seeing her very soon. Okay, that's fine. Jada then tells Mariah via the camera that she knows exactly where to find her. Okay, I do like that. This is cool. So clearly, hopefully they could do Jada Parker versus Mariah May at next week's show, the February 3rd show, or they could hold it out for a couple more weeks and do it at Vengeance Day. I think that would be great. You do Jada Parker versus Mariah May at Vengeance Day. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Moving on, this leads us into some backstage stuff. Basically, it involves Tavion Heights. He's congratulating Ilio LaFleur and Eli Knight on their NXT debuts. So Lexis King and Stax, they show up along with Ariana Grace. Lexis King says the newbies shouldn't take advice from Tavion Heights because he's squandered every opportunity he's ever gotten. Whereas he and Stax aren't waiting anymore. They're taking. So, you know, there's that. They continue to bicker back and forth. Who really cares? Again, what they're doing with Stax is basically just TNA stuff, really. But it seems like they're probably going to end up pushing Stax. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But it seems like they are going to push Stax. moving on. We get a backstage promo involving the Elegance brand. They cut a promo about how they're never losing the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships, which is not going to happen. Like, again, NXT has no tag titles for the women. Clearly, you got enough women there to do a tag team division, and there's not really hardly any teams in the Knockouts division over in TNA. So the Elegance brand, they're going to cough up those tag team titles very soon, which actually does make sense. So, yeah. So, that's fine there. And I'm a fan of George Iceman. I have been for years. Moving on. Let's lead us into Zaria. She's back here on the phone with Sol Ruca to complain about the Elegance brand promo. And then she wants to know where Sol Ruca's been. So Zaria's frustrated. She hangs up. Thea Hale rolls up to offer some sympathy and gives Zaria and Zaria gives Thea Hale the cold shoulder for stumbling on the title. Thea Hale said that she earned it, and Zaria shouldn't take it out on her just because she's upset. So Ruca isn't here. So they bicker, and then they make a match. That's fine. Can we please end this love story of Zaria and Sol Ruca being attached to the fucking hip? We've got to end this shit. Please, let's end this thing, right? Zaria needs to turn on Sol Ruca immediately. If Sol Ruca is on next week's show, Zaria needs to turn her back on her and beat the shit out of Sol Ruca. We have got to get Zaria moving. She's not done anything in well over a year. Zaria's just been in place for a year, and she's not done much of anything but be tied to the hip of Sol Ruca. And it's pathetic. Why? Because I'm a fan of Zaria. I'm a fan of her. She's great. She looks like a monster. I mean, she should be out there kicking ass, taking names. She should really be in the NXT women's title picture. She really should. That's where Zaria should be. If Zaria was built up right, that's exactly where she should be. She should be in that main event scene for the NXT Women's Championship. It's a fact. But it is what it is. Moving on. So, Ethan Page shows up. He's talking to Miles Bourne. Ethan tells Miles that this is his chance to show the world whether he's righteous or ruthless. And Dion Lennox doesn't care about the rules. And that's why he's a champion. And Miles Bourne needs to do whatever it takes. Miles Bourne tells him not to worry about how he handles his business. So Ricky Saints then shows up. Ricky says that he's going to be in the front row. And Miles Bourne tells him if he sees him out there, he's going to whip his ass. Okay, that's fine there. Moving on from that. Ava, she's backstage talking to somebody on the phone, telling them that she supports whatever decision they make. Whatever. Who cares? So the Vanity Project, they show up to ask how Joe Hendry's doing, and they act mock surprised and sad when he's hurt. So they insist that Ava can't prove it was them, and Jackson Drake says that that Ava said herself that NXT is anybody's game, and that it's trying to make a splash. With Joe hurt, she reluctantly gives Jackson Drake his spot in the ladder match, but bans Swipe Right from ringside. And if Joe Hendry is medically cleared before next week, he's also in the ladder match. Okay. Moving on, Dion Lennox defeats Miles Bourne. So he qualifies for a ladder match. Whatever. It's fine there. Then post-match, Ethan Page shows up. He gets a Miles Bourne face for not winning and taking his advice. So then Miles Bourne grabs for the title belt, and he hits him over the head with it. So clearly they're setting up Miles Bourne versus Ethan Page. That's fine. Moving on. So Ricky Saints is chatting with Ava about a problem Keanu Craver is going to be. So Tony D'Angelo walks up. So Ricky carries on, asking her to make sure nobody ruins the match next week and keeps him from becoming a two-time NXT champion. So Ava says, despite walking around like a wild card, NXT needs Tony, and she needs to know if he's in or out. Tony says that he had to get attention somehow, and he'll let everyone know his intentions next week. This isn't the same Tony D'Angelo. And then she warns him not to interfere in the ladder match next week. It's like, what are you talking about? It's no DQ. That's not like you're going to ban Tony from ringside. What the fuck, man? But this is fine. At least Tony said some words here. But, man, we could have used a promo segment with Tony D in ring, cutting a promo for about a good, at least 3 minutes, explaining why he's done what he's done over the past month. Like, come on. But it is what it is. Moving on. This leads us into Chase U. Uriah Connors, who's the brother of David Finlay. He said that he's going to just make his own opportunities after trying it Mr. Chase's way over and over again. Andre Chase tells him that he didn't have time and he has to get ready for his qualifying match. So Lexis King shows up. He tells Uriah after they leave that he's been listening to my bad. He's been listening, and his father, Fit Finlay, should be proud because he knows that he would be. He talks about, his father. Okay, so maybe they're bringing Fit Finlay, but it seems like they're going to end up bringing in David Finlay. It seems like. I doubt if David Finlay will go to AEW. Like, why would he? Like, come on, man. AEW to do what? I get it. Him and Gabe Kidd are Bullet Club buddies, but, man, fuck the Bullet Club. They haven't been relevant in, 12 years. If we're being honest. Moving on. Lexis King defeats Tavion Heights. So Lexis King wins via the coronation. And then he stands tall with Stax and Ariana Grace. And he says that this is just the beginning. So maybe they'll bring some more guys in. Maybe from TNA or something. I don't know. I really don't know. Moving on. Zaria is defeated by Thea Hale. So Zaria should have easily won this match. Izzy Dame was on commentary. Tatum Paxley showed up, and that was great. She beat the hell out of Izzy Dame. So Thea Hale, Zaria went for the F5, but Thea Hale dodged that. She rolled up Zaria. Because Zaria, for whatever reason, was a dumbass babyface who was distracted by the brawl between Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. I have no idea why that happened. Dumbass booking, but it is what it is. Moving on. This leads us into Reign QCC. She's backstage with Charlie Dempsey. They're talking strategy. But Kendall Gray's miles away. She says that she thinks that she can beat Jessie Jane for the title. So Lexis King and Ariana and Stack their roll up and try to recruit Charlie for, I guess they're going to do Legacy 2.0, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, that's fine. Main event of the evening, Keanu Craver, he qualifies. He defeats Andre Chase, beats the shit out of him. He does like a spinning power slam, which is really cool. I like it. Then post-match, Keanu Craver beat the shit out of Andre Chase. So that was cool there. I do like that. And then Keanu Craver gets on the mic and says he's going to pack everybody up in the ladder match next week. I like that. So, then this leads us into the closing segment. Basically, all the guys involved in the ladder match, they make their claims about how they're going to win the ladder match and all that stuff. Who really cares? It ends up leading into a brawl. Ricky Saints, he shows up. He gets a brief little promo, basically. So Carver, he's having none of this shit, and then they all, have a brawl. Joey Hendry shows up. He shows up. He takes out Ricky Saints with a standing ovation choke slam. Keanu Craver shows up. He hits his power slam, and then he stands tall, and then that was the show. Okay, that's fine there. Clearly, I'm guessing we've got 3 choices for the ladder match. My 3 picks are going to be, because it's 7 guys. We know that Shawn Legacy and Jackson Drake and all those guys, they're not winning it. So I'm going to go with either Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, or Keanu Craver. They're probably going to end up going with Ricky Saints. That makes the most sense. Keanu Craver just got there. I mean, he's brand spanking new. They're not going to move him up the card that quickly. So maybe they give it to Ricky, which they will. Clearly, they're going to set up Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry, probably at Stand and Deliver, where we'll see Ricky probably get caught up. So, yeah. So, I don't see Ricky being in NXT too much longer. Him being champion for maybe 3 months is fine. That makes sense. Well, 2 months, that'll be fine. So, yeah. But NXT this week was okay. I'm very excited for next week's show. I think they're going to hit a home run. But what did you guys think of NXT? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.